RAKAKA.se, Endor's here. I'm sitting here together with Redeye, and we are here at Cebit. And you are the host, basically, of both StarCraft and League of Legends. But I mean, also you told us that you're doing another thing as well. What is that?
Well, actually, my main job is to look after the commentators and the hosts. We actually have a dedicated host for the StarCraft stage, which is Rachel, and a dedicated host on League of Legends, this is Ethia. And my job is just to help them out every now and again, and when they need a break, and just make sure everyone's happy and they've got what they need.
Okay, so you're basically the stage manager.
I wouldn't say stage manager, but they've got stage managers for the stage. But I'm just looking after the guys, just making sure they've got water and food, and they know what they're doing, and figuring out who's going to cast what have you. So
you have been doing a lot of traveling lately, right? I mean,
yes.
We have seen you in Sao Paulo, and I mean, now you're here. I mean, how is that for you, traveling so much? Is that affecting you at all?
Well, I'm old, so it affects me a lot. I'm joking. No, it's fine. I don't. The traveling is just. Yeah, I've got a great job, so I moan about the traveling because I hate airports, and when you've been through a lot of airports, you kind of get bored of the same things all the time, and flights get delayed and cancelled. So it's a bit frustrating, but other than that, it's okay. I mean, I think I've clocked up like maybe 30,000 miles already since January. So Vegas, Sao Paulo, Paris, England, Germany, Poland. It's really busy right now, so and that's a good thing.
But I mean, you're living in England.
I'm full time in Germany now.
Oh, full time in Germany.
I moved to Germany in January.
Oh, so. But I mean, all this traveling and all this is really. You have been in esports for so long, but it kind of feels like the last year kind of was your big breakthrough almost.
Yeah, I think I've had waves. You know, it's come along. Like 2005 was when I first sort of came on and did lots of big events, and everyone was like, "Oh, who's this guy?" And then a few years went by, and then I did CGS, and then people were like, "Oh, who's this guy?" And then a few years went by again, and then I came back last year and did lots of hosting last year for lots of big tournaments. And everyone was like, "Oh, who's this guy?" So I feel like I've had like 3 different ways, but that's fine. You know, I'm okay with that. I mean, new people come to the scene all the time. We've got a lot more viewers now, and you know, I just have to sort of say hi to new people and introduce them to who I am. So yeah, you're right. I've been around for a long time now.
But I mean, you mentioned this like 3 renaissances, 3 ways for you. But I mean, is that because you have actually spent more time doing other stuff than esports, or have you done? I mean, have you been working equally hard all the time, and it's just been coincidence?
Yeah, I think the majority of the time I've worked just as hard every year. I've sometimes done games that maybe haven't been as popular as, say, League of Legends and StarCraft. I'm not an RTS caster either, so my casting is generally FPS. It's normally Counter-Strike, Quake, or a tournament of some kind. But I've been doing lots of other games. Last year I did War of the Roses, I did Firefall, I'm going to be doing some World of Tanks soon. So I'm just a gamer and a geek, and I love commentating on games. So I end up going wherever I end up going, if you like, for commentary. And sometimes that takes me out of the big limelight, and people kind of forget that I'm a caster. I think last year was different because my hosting became more popular as well, and therefore I started getting used by Blizzard, by Riot, and other publishers to do hosting stages, and that gives you more credibility for hosting, but people don't associate you with one game or another. And right now we've got people like Kalaris, who he's known as a StarCraft commentator. Well, I'm not really known for any one game. I mean, I think probably CS is probably the one thing that people know me for, but I can do lots of different games, and I can host lots of different stages. So what you learn early on, and I learned this from DJ Week many years ago, is that to be a successful, long-term commentator and survive in esports, you have to do a lot of other games. You can't just do it.
So you're, I mean, but do you think, like for example, players like Artosis and so on, that they are losing out on not focusing on other games? Should they go and focus on other things as well?
No, I don't think they are. I think it depends on what you fall in love with, and you can't choose the woman you fall in love with, you can't choose the game you fall in love with sometimes. I think Nick and Dan were very lucky that they fell in love with a game that was very popular, and they're fantastic at what they do, and they're loved by the community, and rightly so for what they've done. And that community is still massively big, so they don't need to do anything else. I was involved in a tournament which was very small, and it didn't have big events, so to get to go and do the big events which I wanted to go and do, I had to learn other games. And, I've been lucky that I love
lot about the past, but what about the future? I mean, the new season is coming up in 2013. Part of the Swarm is coming out, for example. There's a lot of new things on the horizon. And I mean, what's your plans for the future? Are you going to continue to travel around as much as you've been doing? Can you physically manage that? And like, what's your plans?
Well, I work full time for ESL now. My official job title is head of content and media. The commentating and hosting will carry on. I'm doing Breakall EMS 1 every week now for CSGO. I'm going to be doing World of Tanks Pro League soon as well for Wargaming. We've got events coming out of our ears. We'll be busy back planning season 8 when we get back to Cologne. Sitting down with Mihal and talking about rules and formats and games and countries and where we go next with the Intel Extreme Masters. Working with Uli on the Rakal stuff, so there's tons of stuff to do. This weekend doesn't finish with me. We finish here on Saturday night. Sunday morning I get on a train to Paris, ready for working with Blizzard on Monday for the Heart of the Swarm launch party, which I'm hosting, and then I get on the train on Tuesday morning and go to London, and we're doing a FIFA Interactive World Cup with FIFA, and then back to Cologne on the Wednesday. We do Breakall EMS 1. It just doesn't stop. So right now I'm just focusing on the next couple of months, and then the rest of the stuff will take care of itself, and it's fantastic for esports because it's not just ESL that's really busy. MLG's doing great stuff. They've got some fantastic stuff planned this year. DreamHack, the stuff from DreamHack that's going to be announced is going to be awesome for them as well. So, wow, 2013 is going to be an absolutely epic year for esports.
Final question. I mean, when you're telling us about your schedule, it sounds so busy, but do you do anything other than work? I mean, what do you do if you want to relax?
I play some games when I want to relax. I don't know. I have 2 daughters in the UK, so I like to get back to see them. I did that last weekend. It was really nice to spend 2 days with them. But that's pretty much the first 2 days I've had off in a while. It's my younger daughter's birthday next weekend, so I'll go back the week after next and spend a couple of days with them again, and then back to work again. I've wanted to do this full time for the last 10 years, and ESL are I'm very grateful to them to give me the opportunity to do it full time and not have to worry about anything else and do anything else. So I'm just going to make the most of it, and if that means I work a lot, then I work a lot. And, I need to avoid burning out, which we all do. But there will come a stage when it will go quiet for a little while and we'll get some time off, so it's fine.
Okay, well, good luck in the future and nice talking to you.
All right.